What is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 354, and I am your host, Steve V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett.
Hello,
How the hell are
darling.
you? Yeah, how
Oh,
you
I'm
doing?
sorry.
Yeah, how the hell are you doing?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. Just having my cocktail right now.
A
And
cocktail.
yes, and getting ready for the show, getting these tetas all shut up, all ready and
Placed. I
glossed
mean,
up.
my God, they are out and about. Spring has sprung.
Oh,
One of
you
our
know it.
listeners is saluting you, or I should say,
Hey,
not you, the Tatas.
that's okay.
And yeah, we've got a fun show. And a little bit later, we are welcoming Abby of the podcast Sweet Baby Gay. I've been listening to it. I was a guest on her show. So much fun, and we are bringing her into the mix. It's going to be a party Wednesday night. Happy Hump Day. We are live on Tags Live. Um, how you doing, Cody? Because I got my taxes done, so it really is a party. Took me a minute.
Yeah, good for you.
Lord,
Congratulations. I
turbo
just broke
turbo
out in the sweat.
taxed it in. Yeah. Now I'm ready
Oh.
for a turbo dick. But yeah, I
But
need.
that is celebratory right there. Getting your taxes done is a cause for
It really
celebration. I agree.
is. It's just this huge, it's been on like the back burner and slowly moving its way forward. And as many of you guys know, when you work for yourself, it's like,
There's so
but
much.
we got it done and it's a party. It's Wednesday night. The other good thing is, I don't know if you guys listened to it, but you need to check out this past Tuesday's episode that dropped. Episode 353, we had Dr. Joshua Gonzalez on the show, who, by the way, Cody, he's a
Mhm.
urologist.
Love it.
He's calls himself the Dick Doc. So right there, we love him.
Needs it. Yes.
Love it. He's really sexy, hot, great advice. I got so much great advice on that show. You got to listen to it. He wants to come on our live video tags live show soon. So
Can't wait. I'm so excited. I have so many questions for him. Yes.
so many questions. You're going to learn a lot just about, our prostate health, the dick, erections, erectile dysfunction, keeping it healthy, and sperm. He has a product too called Pop Star, which is all about
Ooh.
increasing your load and its volume
Ooh.
over the long haul. So I am ordering that for sure. Maybe
Yes.
we'll do a giveaway for that coming up.
Yes.
Who
and
doesn't
give
want
away to me too.
bigger loads? Oh yeah. On our TikTok at Tags Podcast, I posted a little clip of something that he said, and he said the more that studies are showing that the more you ejaculate, the more it's been shown to reduce prostate cancer or your chances of getting prostate cancer, which is so remarkable. And it's like our biggest TikTok to date. I mean, we're at 40,000 views, and I just posted this yesterday, and people have something to say like, oh, finally I'm up to, who's not ejaculating that much already. So we got a lot of people that are up for it. And yeah, but you got to listen to it. Episode 353. Check that out. Cody, you went and saw a
Yes.
movie last night. You gave a great review on our Discord channel.
I did.
But tell us really quickly what the movie was and why you liked it.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I hope I got that title right because you never know. It's a long one. So, but it was really great. It was mind-bending. It was emotional, which I really, really loved. And it had one of my favorite actresses in there, Michelle Yeoh. So I love her. She could watch paint dry and I would think it was amazing. So yeah, I 4 out of 5 stars because it was a little trippy at sometimes, and I thought maybe they could have shaved a couple minutes off of it, so here and there. But all in all, it was a great, great movie.
Say the title again because I love it.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Everywhere, Everything, All at Once.
That's how I want my sex life to be. I mean, come on now. That's a great title. That's a great title. All right. Well, we'll take your word for it and we'll check it out. Blake, who's watching us live right now, says he went to see Dr. Gonzalez when he lived in LA. That's right. He's based in LA. So hot. Yeah, I know. It's great to have a doctor that's hot and knows what he's talking about. Kudos to that. I'm all for that. We have an announcement. This is the last time you're going to see us on the Get Vocal platform. Okay, we are not getting rid of the show, y'all. Get
Thank goodness.
Vocal. Get Vocal is switching over to Vocal, so VOKL.com. And Cody and I have been going through the new platform. It's very exciting. So many more bells and whistles. I know you guys like to maybe talk to us and see us before we start the show, but now we're going to be backstage in our
Can't
in
wait.
the way. Yeah, it's just going to be fun. There's a lot more perks on the Vocal. So you'll want to keep track of our Instagram, because sadly, if you are subscribed to Get Vocal, we will not transfer over, but we will post the link on the website, TAGSPodcast.com. On the day of, you'll get the link on our Instagram at Tags Podcast. Yep. And lastly, if you're a Patreon member, you of course will get it handed to you with white gloves. So
in a golden envelope.
Yes, honey. Yes.
Delivered by one of the hosts, darling.
Yes, sweetie, darling. Yes, of course.
Invite us in for tea.
Right. We've got a lot to get to, though, and we better get going. I think that's all I wanted to announcements-wise. Sadly, Cody, crime. Let's get to some hot topics, and then we'll bring in our special guest. Sadly, crime in New York is on the rise. We all know. All you have to do is turn on the news. I've been out of the mix for a minute, and I'm going to get back into it. But recently, in your neck of the woods in Bushwick, Brooklyn, a man walked into the gay bar and poured gasoline and lit a match.
I know.
Crazy. So a gay bar in New York City, which is actually Brooklyn, suffered substantial damage from a suspected arson attack over the weekend and is appealing for information to identify the perpetrator. 2 people were injured. So this bar, which I was surprised that you didn't know because it's in your neck of the wood, called Rash. RASH. Interesting name.
Sounds like not a great name for a bar, but I'm gonna go. We're gonna go with it. Sounds
like you need an ointment for it. But the Rash opened up only 5 months ago in Brooklyn, Bushwick, like I said, and they posted last night before the party started. Someone came into our bar, poured gasoline on the floor, causing an explosion that set the bar aflame. The bar posted on Tuesday. He was wearing a dark hoodie and a backpack and immediately ran from the scene. Everyone inside made it out, but 2 people were brought to the hospital and are in stable condition. I'm not sure where the bar stands right now because I didn't really see. I'm hoping they do, and I will post this on Tags Podcast. They launched a GoFundMe page to support everyone directly affected, our staff who will be out of work for the foreseeable future, and eventually the repair of the space. So apparently it was quite a bit of damage, Cody.
Yes.
I asked you, did you even know this bar?
I did.
Thank you for putting that, Cody, in the... Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, because I was going to mention that as well, because it's so important for us to support our community, and they do have a GoFundMe up, and I put it in the little bar here. So I did not know it was open, and it's around the corner from my house. That's how crazy it is. I feel like I've seen the sign of it, so to their social. I've seen their sign outside. It's not really overt that it's a gay bar or what have you, but it is really, really close to me. And it makes me feel a little worried for walking down. When I walk down the street with my boyfriend, we were just walking home last night from the movie. We were arm in arm, and it gives me a little bit of anxiety when I walk down the street with him. So it's makes me concerned a little bit, but I'm hoping that things will go in the direction of us being more safe and more vigilant. And I'm hoping that this bar will get back on its feet very soon.
Number one, though, where was security? I mean, how do you bring in a can of what was it? Lighter
Gasolina.
fuel? Gasolina? Yeah. I think it's going to make bars in general, because as we all know, bars and spots for the LGBTQ plus IA community are considered safe spaces.
Yes.
You always feel you know, we hear of stories all the time, and it's always on the streets of, sometimes even in the streets at a proxy to our neighborhood, like our neighborhoods even.
Mhm.
But when you are in one of our establishments, you feel like you're in a truly safe space.
Yeah.
Many of the bars that I go to have security inside, like outside.
Yep.
So it begs the question, maybe Rash, you know, how did this guy slip in with these tools to do this destruction?
Yeah.
And I know you can do that really quick, but it's gonna, maybe pat downs are gonna be a thing. Well, you know what? Sorry,
Yeah.
Cody.
No, I get
No
it.
huffing and puffing. Would you
I
rather be
understand.
safe, or would you? I'd rather be pat down by the hot security guard and know that everybody else was patted down,
As long as
and
everyone is patted
there's
down,
not
then
some lighter fluid in the guy behind me.
exactly. As
You
long as
know?
it's uniform across the board, I don't see a problem with it. But if they're like picking and choosing and kind of just stereotyping people, then I'm not here for that. So I get what you're saying. I would rather be safe. And if people are pouring gasoline and blowing up things, then I would rather be safe. But there is a line that has to be followed, and there are precautions and things that have to be followed.
You know,
So
before 9/11, you could just go, like your friends and family could go meet you,
at the
like
at
see
the
your at
at
the
the
they see your
gate.
plane. We used to go see my grandma take off, and
Uh-huh.
from an airline called PSA, which isn't around anymore. I
Oh,
know.
you know what? Okay, all right. Long story short, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
I used to work for not America. What? Who did I used to work for? U.S. Airways. That's who I used to work for.
Okay.
But
I
they
was
got
gonna say Spirit, but okay.
no, ma'am. So I used to work for U.S. Airways, but they're with United, and U.S. Airways at that time bought out PSA. So I know a lot about PSA
Okay,
Airlines.
yeah. And but life has totally changed now, and you wouldn't even think of that. You just go to
Yeah.
the airport by yourself. You have to go through security unless you have global entry. It's just a whole thing. Jen says that I used to work at a gay bar in New Jersey, and after Pulse, we did pat downs to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Pulse was not that long ago.
It was not.
And if it can happen in one state, it's, you know, it can happen anywhere.
It can
So,
happen anywhere. So
yeah,
I'd rather be safe, like you said.
right. And I think, you know, maybe they'll consider that this bar in your neck of the woods, and you can let us know. Maybe you can get an
Yes.
interview for us.
Okay, maybe I'll hit them up. I looked through their socials and they're not quite open just yet, and they are planning on reopening. So I
Got
will
it.
keep us
Let
abreast
them
of
know that we
their
talked about them, that we posted their
definitely
GoFundMe.
will.
Speaking of airlines, Southwest Airlines, did you work for them, Cody? Recently, a
Down the street.
passenger. Okay. I want to know, because you told me at my house the other day that you are all
Mhm.
about wanting to have airport sex. You told
Yes,
me that, and I was
honey.
like, really? Are you talking about
Underneath the
at a
stall.
layover when you're kind of hot and sweaty, or when you first get to the airport when I'm usually in a tizzy because I'm running late? I don't know when I could fit this in, but Southwest Airlines
But fit it in.
passenger, a Southwest Airlines passenger was arrested for stroking his cock 4 times during a flight.
Uh-huh.
4 times after
Okay.
Southwest Airlines
I'm
flight
with it.
3814 landed in Phoenix, Arizona. A female witness sitting next to McGarity, is the name of the culprit, was interviewed by Phoenix police officers. She advised McGarity exposed his penis by pulling down his pants and shorts and proceeded to masturbate during the first hour of the flight, starting shortly after takeoff. Not after takeoff.
Ooh,
You at least get your
girl.
I like to get my cocktail before I do any like lascivious things. McGarity masturbated with his exposed penis in view of the female passenger on 4 separate occasions, using both his left hand and his right hands. I love the
Ambidextrous.
details.
I love it.
I love the details on this. She suspected that McGarity ejaculated because he licked a white substance from his fingers.
Oh, that's just
Eh,
hot. That is
It is not hot.
that is just so hot.
No,
It sounds like a
it's
porn movie. I am
gross.
ready for it.
Well, he is going to be crying his way to prison, particularly. The complaint states that he was going to be up for. FBI contact him and all. I mean, this is to me way too far. And
Okay,
people have lost their minds. Lost them.
let's break this down a little bit, okay? Because I
What's
read
the
the
breakdown?
story.
Okay, go ahead.
And in his mind, he got consent because he asked her if she was okay with him masturbating in front of her. And she said, I guess it's fine. And then she watched for an hour and took pictures to do OnlyFans. I don't know what she was doing with these
But
pictures.
regardless, the fact is she may have said that, but it's still illegal and just, I mean, yes, I'm all for getting caught like having sex. Yes, in the airport it could be fun to meet somebody. I think that for sure. The Mile High Club for sure.
Yes.
I
And yes.
was once I got upgraded and I was in business class going to Europe. And it was like a really long flight. And there was a guy that I wasn't even really that attracted to, but I swear he kept rubbing
Was the altitude.
we were so close and our seats went like flat like to a bed, and his knee kept hitting my knee. And
Ooh,
I was
that is
getting
a
horny.
signal.
I was getting
Yeah.
horny because I'm like way up in the sky. And I believe me, I thought about it. But if I did think about it, we were at least in our little confine.
Yeah.
It was dark.
That's why
And I would have used a blanket. I would have used a blanket, like you said, offline.
I was getting there.
Go ahead, get there.
I have a quick point before we get there.
Okay.
So, and where was the flight attendant during all of this? There was no beverage service. He took his penis out at
Maybe that was the stir stick, his penis.
and the white substance was it for his coffee.
Yeah, the crema.
Okay, so yes, that it is illegal. In his mind, he did get consent, so I'm with him on that. However, me personally, I would either go to the bathroom to masturbate, or I would masturbate underneath a blanket like a gentleman. Okay.
Yes. Because there's a video out there of a guy that I follow on OnlyFans. I need to re-up it because but he had a whole incident with a guy on a plane, and he's like a foot dom. No, he likes feet. So he was like playing with the guy's feet and then was licking them
On
at
the
one
plane?
point on the plane at one
Love
point, but
it.
they're being very subtle. And then dicks were out, and they were very subtle with like sweatshirts and looking around. And I was getting turned on just watching it because they were both consenting adults doing it together. Now, this woman, please, allegedly. And by the way, she could change her. He doesn't know that she would change her mind,
You're
and
right.
then you're up Schitt's Creek, which he currently is. And I just think it's a bad situation to be had. Like,
back.
what are the people saying before we get?
The people are agreeing with me. She watched a whole while, and that was crazy. That's what Jay said. And Jen says that is very, very hot. And Jay says, when you were next to that guy and he was rubbing his knee up against yours, he would have grabbed his knee. Quotations around knee.
It was very light. I was nervous. I was excited. I was tired. I was all those things that I was somewhat drunk because I had a lot of wine.
See, there it is.
All those. I had watched every movie I could watch, and now I was ready for that. And that was like going to be the next best thing. But yeah, let's get an opinion from Abby.
Okay, let's bring her
in. Abby, why don't you grab a spot and we'll have you weigh in on this hot topic. She's gonna like, no, I don't want to talk about this. Hey boys, new year, and that means new sex rules. Start the year off right by manifesting a sex-positive 2022. Your buddies over here at TAGS have got you covered in helping you achieve your sex conundrums and relationship queries. Ask TAGS for advice. We love giving our thoughtful outlooks to our friends, you. So DM us at TAGSPodcast on Instagram or email us at TAGSPodcast.com. Let's make this year a sexually positive 2022. Go ahead and grab a spot when you can and join the conversation. Abby, our special guest, has a podcast called Sweet Baby Gay. And let's see if she is going to grab a spot. If not, we can go to our next topic. It isn't letting me click.
If you refresh, it
go
might.
ahead and maybe refresh. And okay, she's refreshing. And we'll get her. Oh,
there we go.
I think, yes.
Refreshing did it.
Hello, Abby. How you doing? You made it.
Hi.
We want to welcome our very
adorable.
our very special guest, Abby of the podcast Sweet Baby Gay. I was a guest on her show this week, which I think is going to come out soon, and we had so much fun. Abby, welcome to Tags Live.
Hi, thank you. Yes, so happy to be here.
Absolutely. Before we get into it, though, you've been listening to our show, and what would you think if a guy was doing that, like on your row?
I'm not a fan. I'm like, no, but I also am just like any stranger. I'm just like, nah, please stay away from me type of like attitude towards that.
Okay.
So if I like turn around and someone was doing that, I'd be like, oh my God, can you please get that away from here? But yeah, that's me. I'm just like,
what the funny thing is? It's probably a recent story, and it's probably when you have to still wear your mask. So he was masked up, but yet he felt comfortable pulling his pants down. That's the hilarious part of the whole thing. There it is. Yeah. Abby, you have the podcast Sweet Baby Gay. What is a baby gay, and why did you start the podcast?
So it was me and my friend started it at first, and we called it Sweet Baby Gay because we both only recently like came out as being queer and everything. Which is like the point of the podcast was for us to learn about like the community and to also help other people learn about the community, which is why we called it Sweet Baby Gay, because we're like, we're baby gays and we're trying to bring our baby gays towards us.
Aww.
And everything. Yeah. And so that was with my friend when we first started it in November, but she's no longer doing it anymore. And so it's now just me, and I bring people on to talk.
Well, we are no stranger to changes on our show. We had different hosts before. Now I've got Cody here, which we love.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
One of the things I love about Sweet Baby Gay, I've been listening to it this week, a lot of the episodes, is we were talking about it offline. You're a millennial on the cusp of a millennial and Gen Z, and so young, and people of a certain age are always saying the gays, you got to teach our history. And I love that your show, I mean, you've talked about Audre Lorde, infamous author on your show. You do history of women's history, all kinds of historical things, and I think that's what's so important and makes your show so great.
I started doing that, so we've had 2 of those episodes, so I'm trying to do 1 a month. And my last episode, I had my partner on with me where we both learned about a person in history and then like taught each other about it. And I think that just like went along with me like wanting to learn more and like kind of my way of doing that. And it's been really fun. So far we've done it in February and March, and so we also like kept it with the like purpose of that month. So in February we like dedicated to Black History Month, and then in March we did Women.
Right. Absolutely. I love it. It's so great. Cody, you had a question?
I did. So I was listening to your podcast, and I was just wondering, so you're a baby gay, right? How do you identify, and can you tell me a little bit about about your identity and your baby gay identity?
Yeah. So I don't know if I like still consider myself baby gay or not. I came out, so I've known I was gay since I'm bisexual. Recently, I've been moving towards pansexual as more of an identity for myself, but bisexual, when I say bisexual, I'm saying it as like an umbrella term. And so I realized I was gay maybe in like high school, kind of, but I didn't come out until the beginning of the pandemic. And so since then, I came out when I ended my last relationship, and since then I like spent some time just like kind of figuring that out and getting myself kind of like acquainted with the idea of like being queer and everything.
Well, I want I want to ask a little bit more about the difference between pansexual and bisexual. There's a reality star. He just came out. He's the former international USA. Cody, you know him, David Barta,
Oh
right?
yes, I
You're
watched that
watching
show
his,
now.
and he came out as pansexual recently. He told Instagram followers that coming out to his religious family had been hard. But can you talk to us a little bit about the difference between pan and bisexual?
Yeah. So it's very different to everybody, and it's like hard for people to understand. Um, because in reality, there's no difference like on the when you look at someone like I'm attracted to the same people that bisexuals are attracted to. Me saying when I say pansexual, the difference is like how those people think about it. And so the reason I decided to move towards pansexual was me and my partner were having a conversation about what we looked for in porn.
Mhm.
And I realized that I kind of looked for actions more than like looked. And whereas like my partner was looking at like more descriptive like words and everything, whereas I was using like an action that they were doing. And it's because I am more attracted to like how someone is behaving and how someone's like moving their body and interacting with you and less of how it looks, which is why I say pansexual sometimes over
Okay.
bisexual. And
That makes so
so
that
it's really
makes so
just
much.
how you think about it. Yeah.
We were talking offline, Cody and I, about that. And I heard something that you said in one of your podcasts that you said, you're more interested in the vibe of somebody, the attraction, versus how they look or what gender they are and what term. And I thought, wow, that's really how I am maybe now is I'm really into a vibe that I get with people versus who I see on the apps and who the apps tell me I should really like. And that really resonated with me. So that's a really good way of differentiating pansexual to say maybe bisexual. But I understand that they definitely have overlapping
Yeah. Yeah.
components.
Which is why for so long I was saying bisexual, and I even still say bisexual because I'm like, to people that I don't feel like describing, most people don't know what pansexual is unless they're in the queer community. So normally I just don't want to explain that to people half the time. I'm just like, I'm bisexual. You know what that means. You kind of don't need to know anymore.
More easily digestible, I
Oh
guess.
my gosh. Yes. My mother, when I came out as bisexual, my mother like didn't like that. She was like, at least sexual. I don't like that word. And I was just like, that is from
Really?
ignorance. Yeah. And like my mom's very supportive. She just sometimes she has to like digest things a little more. And
Uh-huh.
so like I've had to have conversations with her of like, that's weird that you're saying that. You shouldn't say that. And also
Mhm.
they're the same thing, different shade. There's like a Family Guy quote that they say it's like same thing, different shape.
I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. So I was listening to your podcast, and one thing that really struck out with me was that you just moved in with your partner.
Yeah.
How is that going? And what has been your experience? What are some of the challenges? Tell me all about it, girl.
Well,
Yeah.
why are you asking that question, Cody?
Because I just moved in with mine, and girl, it's been rough, girl.
How long
No,
ago did you move in?
it's been a learning experience, and it's been wonderful.
How long, Cody?
Let's move in together.
We moved in a month ago. Oh my gosh, it's
Okay.
been a month and 5 days. We moved in
Wow.
March 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner's actually listening. I sent them the the link, so they're on and everything. So yeah, so we were planning on moving in June. We were planning on getting a place together. And because right now I do have a roommate, and then
Okay.
some stuff was coming up financially that we were like, it might make more sense if you just go ahead and move in because they weren't on a lease. They were like renting a room from a friend.
Mhm.
And so we just decided that they should just go ahead and move in to save us both some money because we were planning on moving out, but now we're going to stay in this apartment and my roommate's going to move out.
Okay.
So that's like how we were planning on moving in June. We just kind of a little bit, and it's honestly been really nice. We kind of already were spending every night together,
Yeah.
pretty much like just, and we both have dogs. I think that's the biggest thing is like we weren't living together for a while because we each had our own dogs at separate houses, and have had to like just commute back instantly when we're staying nights together. And so it's really like fixed that. I think that we're excited to have more space when my roommate moves out because we're very jam-packed in my room right now. I think that's like our struggle right now, but that should hopefully be getting a little different soon.
Well, I love that you have the dogs. I love that you have dogs. And do the dogs get along?
They do now. They love each other. My dog has issues. My dog is so my dog's a lab pit mix. He's like laying in my bed right now. And then their dog is a pointer mixed with a pit. I'd have to ask them. There's like another one in there. And my dog has like boundary issues. He like doesn't, or like guarding issues. And so at first we were like really scared. We were like, oh my gosh, we gotta like take this so slow. But now, like, it took like less than a week, and my dog and him were able to just share bones and like walk around. My dog does want to hump him a lot. A lot. And that's really annoying. Like, there's like,
but that's a dog thing. Yeah. It's just about territory, which we can all relate to. It's so gross. I'm so glad my Chow Chow never did. He just never had that gene in him. He was very reserved, and
looking at their little penises come out, it's disgusing. It's so
gross. I know.
I can hear on that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say we've actually had it where like we were like having like sex and everything, and then the dog started humping, and I was like, we gotta put them away. Like, this is not okay. We can't have this in here.
Not getting a dog anytime soon.
I love it, and it has like made it so my dog gets tired. Like my dog was so energetic, and now I'm seeing that my dog's an old man because he's like getting all of his energy out.
I love it. Well, we talked about your partner, who you list his name, Reed, who on one of the episodes I was listening to that he was co-hosted with you, says he's non-binary, queer, and Black.
Yes.
And how does that work? How did you guys meet, and how does that work, being pansexual? And did you have to talk about your, how you identify to see if this could work?
Not really. So their pronouns are they, them, because they're non-binary, and we didn't really have much conversations around are we attracted to each other, because we met on Tinder, so we swiped on each other and we're like very obviously attracted to each other. I'd say that I definitely didn't know as much about like non-binary and what that meant and what that was like for them until I started dating them. Like I knew about non-binary, knew pronouns and everything, but I think that that's the one thing is like having to talk about like learning what that is. And that's just something I had never really experienced until they like taught me about it. And so there's that. And then they definitely are a lot more, when we met, we're a lot more like experienced in the community. So I think it was a lot more of me learning about myself through that. So, but we didn't really have to have the conversation of like, are you attracted to me? Or am I attracted to you? Because I'm bisexual.
You both swiped right, and
we both swiped right. We both are attracted to all genders, and so we didn't really have to even talk about that.
Okay. That's fantastic. I love that.
Don't fast forward. Who are we?
Not Well Podcast. Just a couple of just having a cocktail.
Just two cream pies from Columbus,
Ohio. Politics, news, celebrities, gossip, our lives, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and conspiracy theories. Are you a millennial? You're going to love it. What's better than that? We talk about everything. Slay, Honey Queen.
Gooped and gagged and bootsing the house down.
Shantae, you stay.
Oh, that's trademarked.
I don't give a Anyway, listen to us every Wednesday, 9 a.m. We come out with a new episode so you can just be cheered up for the week.
And if you don't wake up at 9 like me, you can listen later.
So make sure you tune in and make sure you follow us. Come listen to us, please. Link you. Love you.
Love you.
Why wouldn't you listen to us? Not Well Podcast every Wednesday at 9 a.m.
I kind of want to get a little bit personal, if it's okay.
I will answer anything.
So as far as I'm really curious about your relationship. Are you guys exclusive? How do you identify as far as that is concerned?
So we are identifying as non-monogamous.
Okay.
which has been a little different for us because so when we officially became got in a relationship, I addressed to them, I was like, I kind of, the word I used was polyamory. I was like, I would like to be polyamorous.
Oh.
And it's because I didn't know, I was mixing up my words. And the reason is I was like, I'm newly out, you're queer. We both know that we're not going to not be attracted to someone. I'd rather us be able to stay together and still have those opportunities. Then we had more of a conversation. I was like, oh no, not polyamory, actually non-monogamous is what we move towards. And what's really been happening is we've more been seeing people not together, but like we've been seeing the same person. And I think that's a little easier for us because we spend so much time together that it's like hard for us to make connections outside of one another. And
when you say that you're seeing the same person, do you mean you separately are seeing different people, or you are?
So we're both open to like seeing other people separately from each other.
Right.
So we both, so far, anyone that we have been sexually involved with, we both have been sexually involved with. So we, whether that is together or separately, that has been our experience so far. Like neither of us have branched out and met someone else without the other. We have like been on Tinder and like flirted and stuff like that, but nothing has come of it besides that without the other being there. And that's not saying that that's not going to happen. That's just like how it's been for us so far, because that's how kind of we communicate and everything.
I love that.
Yeah. My whole thing is I'm like, if anyone's becomes an important person in my partner's life, I don't want them to be separate from me. Not necessarily that I want to also have that relationship with them. I just don't want to feel like they have something outside or like two separate lives. And I don't want to feel that way either. I don't want to have to get away from my partner. And I would rather them like naturally have a whatever relationship they would have if I were to like find someone.
That is so emotionally mature. I'm sorry, you're not a baby gay anymore. You are an
takes a lot of conversation.
That sounds very polyamorous to me. I mean, and actually we should just bring up we are live, and Blake, who's watching us live, says, so what is the difference between poly and non-monogamous, at least in your mind, Abby?
Yeah, so polyamorous means that you are having multiple relationships, like romantic relationships, whereas like non-monogamous more means that you're having sex outside of your relationship. And so we're looking for a committed partner, another committed partner that we're going to be dating. We would both, the one person we're both seeing right now is like a long-term friend that we both every once in a while like sleep with. The difference is like what that relationship looks like. So we aren't trying to build a life with anyone else. We're not trying to include someone in our like life planning. We are maybe looking for like friends that we could sleep with.
Right. And so he was responding, it sounds like a non-monogamous is like most gay men, or open relationships. But the one thing I would say though is that you're seeing the same person. Sometimes open relationships can mean, and I guess it gets down to how communication and how each pairing defines it. It can be different. Some people could see different people, which could be considered an open relationship. Others could be seeing the same. And it's evolving too, which is what I hear coming out of you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So non-monogamous is like kind of also a general overlapping term. So polyamory is non-monogamous. Non-monogamous is anything that's not monogamy. So that could include open relationships. Open relationships, I'd say I don't really like that term because it kind of implies like no rules, no like not even rules, because that's not really great to like have rules, but like boundaries. When you say open relationship, it's kind of like do what you want, I don't care. Whereas like boundaries are very important. It's very important to like build trust around them. And so there's so many different ones, the same way there's so many different types of polyamory. It's like I wouldn't even know half the terms because there's so many different dynamics, because it's really different for every couple.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love that.
Yeah, it's also weird because once you kind of get into that community, you realize how many people are in that community, and like how many you like will see someone and it's like an old friend. You're like, oh wait, you're non-monogamous too. Oh my gosh, like it's like at least where I'm at, it's like so many people are like that now.
I love it. Well, I wanted to talk really quickly about, there's such this effort. We talk about the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. We talked briefly on your show when I was a guest on your show. There's this effort now to ban all kinds of books this particular year, which is crazy. I really think what you're doing as a podcaster, though, is really educating him, because you can't, at least as of now, ban podcasts. And
Yeah.
what's your take on what you're seeing happening around the country for baby gays, if you will, and how are you taking that on with your show?
So real quick, that kind of put a little side note to me in my head of like, yeah, they're not banning podcasts, but fun fact, my podcast showed up on a background check of myself because it had the word gay in it, and that was like blacked out on my background check and everything. Yeah, I was like, because it was for work and it was just like a background check for a new client, and I was like, what? And so it had just pictures of my podcast, and the word queer and the words gay were blacked out, and those were the only words blacked out. And like, of course, that didn't stop me from like getting this client or everything. I was just like, but I was like, why does that show up on my background check as sexually explicit?
Wow.
I just don't get it. So yeah, they can't ban
That's
podcasts,
a
but it's
lot.
still showing up like that. I'm just curious how else that's going to show up.
You know what? You're right. And I just think it's maybe a matter of time, but I hope it's not, knock on wood. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not even really explicit on my podcast. Like, I kind of would like to be more, but I also am just like, I also want to be approachable for younger queers and everything.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm not even explicit. I'm not like, yes, we curse on my podcast, but we're not like being graphic or anything. So I just didn't understand why it showed up. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm in a bubble because I'm in Richmond, and so Richmond's very queer, very friendly and everything. And my sister and
Richmond,
brother
New Jersey, right?
No, actually Richmond, Virginia. Sorry.
Virginia, sorry, yeah.
Yes, I didn't know there was a Richmond in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, no, there isn't. No, sorry.
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia. And I also have like 2 siblings that are in high school, and all of their friends are coming out as not even coming out. They just like are queer in their own way, which I think is great. And I think that that's becoming more acceptable in a lot more like in a lot more areas and everything. But it seems that it's kind of scaring the like older generation. Don't like it. And like, I do have a lot of friends who are still homophobic and they like freak out about it, and they agree with the Don't Say Gay. And I think it's because people, it's just a backlash, and it's just, and I don't know. Do you know any of the books that are being banned? Because I don't know any of the titles.
Yeah, one of the books that I think is a prominent book, I was just looking this up right now, is let me get this list here, because it was Gender Queer, a memoir by Maya Kobabe. I've heard of this book. Out of Darkness is another book. The Hate You Give, All Boys Aren't
The
Blue.
Hate You Give.
Lawn Boy. These are all titles that have something related to our LGBTQI, and they're being banned left and right. But I think you just touched on a whole important subject that just, with podcasts. And I love what you're doing, though, because talking about Audre Lorde, famous lesbian author, on your show is doing us right on Sweet Baby Gay.
Yeah, and actually I'm starting, hopefully next week I'll be recording this. I have one friend who I'm bringing on to do book clubs every month. So maybe I actually will try to get some of these banned books in there and everything. So right now I finished the book Summer Suns, which is written by a queer artist and also has like a gay man in it and everything. And we're going to talk about that on an episode. And so maybe my next one will be one of the banned books. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, Cody and I will join the book club for sure.
Yes, we will.
Maybe we should, if y'all want, let's all read one of these. Let's pick one and all read it.
Let's do it. Okay.
I'm so into
doing
that.
a book club thing here too. So,
Yes,
and I know
on our Discord we were talking about it.
Yes,
Jen also has a great book that he's suggesting watching us now. So we got to keep that in mind. Well, all right. we want we're hoping you'll play a fun game with us, a couple of
Yes.
games,
So ready.
and
I love games.
this is going to be so fun because you talked about you and your partner like to do hypotheticals, and I'm assuming you just do this for fun when you guys
Yeah.
are just hanging out. Well, we thought we'd
Constantly.
play a game called Would You Rather, and this is going to be related to love and sex questions. There's a series of 100. I'm not going to tell anybody where we got these from, but there's some really juicy ones. Cody and I will go back and forth, and we'll all play along. You guys play along and listening live. All right, I'll start it off. And the first question is, would you rather orgasm every single time you entered a grocery store or never orgasm during sex? Would you rather orgasm every single time you entered a grocery store or never orgasm during sex? Cody, what would your response be?
So I would rather always orgasm when I go into a grocery store.
Yes.
Because never being able to orgasm during sex sounds horrible. And I mean, if I don't want to orgasm, I can just order Instacart. But if I really need one really bad, and I'm walking on the street, I can just walk into a grocery store.
Well, and I have a good one actually. Currently, I have two. Well, one of I'll keep it to one. Currently, there's a guy that I flirt with. I say hi to downstairs. I live atop Whole Foods, and he and I always he ruptured his knee. I broke my ankle, and so we have that in common. And he's been checking in on me. So if I orgasmed every single time I saw him, which I'm totally attracted to him, it would be a good thing. It would be like, I'm ready for another orgasm. Let's go get a carton of milk. And I'd be there. I need some leche.
See, that is a whole nother thing. Would you rather have somebody to go have sex with at the grocery store that works there, or
Abby, what would you pick?
Definitely the grocery store. As a woman, I already have a hard time orgasming every time I have sex. I would love to just be able to go to a grocery store and have an orgasm every time. Like, that actually sounds good to me.
I love it. Well, while you pick the next one, Jace says I would shop all the time. Jen says grocery store. Blake says I'd take the grocery store. You could put some pads in your underwear if needed. Oh, yeah, exactly. If you're making many runs. Grocery store for sure, Daddy says. Love it. Thank you for playing. All right, Cody, go.
So this one is really funny. Would you rather have sex with someone who stays completely still like a starfish, or stays completely silent like they're studying for finals?
Read that again.
Would you rather have sex with someone who stays completely still like a starfish, arms spread out like this, or would you rather have them completely silent like they're studying for finals?
Aren't those similar?
Well, if you're still, then you can still make sound, but if you're making sound, then you're not but you're not moving.
Okay, Abby, what would you pick?
I'd rather them be silent. I would much rather them be silent. Because also if they're standing still, like if they're completely still and you're on top and everything, like how much noise are they really making? I don't know. I'd rather them just be silent and helping me out and moving along.
Yeah, we live in New York, and people are pounding on the walls if you get too loud. So I'd choose silent for sure.
You would choose silent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would totally choose. I would rather have them stay still, because, like Jay says, I can do all the work.
No, I want them to do the work.
But I love a good moaner.
There are a lot of people that like that too. If you think about putting bondage in there, and then it's like they're kind of forced to stay still, and people love that. So,
okay, you guys, this is a really good one, and I've thought about this one before. Would you rather be terrible in bed or a terrible kisser, Abby?
Oh man, that's hard.
I don't get how you could be one over the other. Like, how could you be?
Well, you know, some people. Well,
I know.
True. It is true. That is a good point, Abby, because it's hard to find good kissers out there, and you just assume it's kind of like one of those dancing things. Like, if they're a good dancer, you're pretty certain they're going to be good in bed.
Yeah,
Typically.
if someone's a terrible kisser, I don't think I would really get to bed. Like I've had people kiss me where I'm like, I need you to step away from me this second. Like I I don't think I'd get to the bedroom after that.
Oh.
But then also I don't
Final
want to be bad
answer.
at sex. I'm gonna go with bad kisser. I'm gonna go with bad kisser. Is what I'd rather be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'd rather be bad in bed because that's sort of subjective sometimes. I mean, maybe I've been, maybe I just lied there and that's not for everyone's liking. Some
You
people like the
starfish
last one.
it.
Maybe I'm starfishing, but kissing really ignites everything to me. Kissing you can do outside. It's not just in the bedroom. Kissing is magnetic. It's magical. When you lock lips with somebody that's a really good kisser, it's like fireworks for me. And you can be on the dance floor, you can be out in public, you could be in the bedroom. So I want to be known for being a better kisser than the other one.
This one is really hard because I'm amazing at both. So
Do you have references?
Yeah, right. Can we check your
girl, look at my Yelp, okay? It's all over there. So I think I would rather also be a bad kisser. No. I would rather be bad in bed because, like Steve said, I would rather. Kissing is just so. It's such an integral part of a connecting with someone. I feel like so. I would rather be bad in bed.
Y'all might have convinced me to change.
Oh wow!
I'm also just thinking about it and like
the power of Tags podcast.
Kissing's also really good during sex. Like you could be having sex and then
Oh.
have a really good kiss, so maybe you're having bad sex.
So you
Kiss
go
made
from a
up for it.
D to a C at least.
Yeah.
And you can kiss someone's body and make them come, and they're gonna be so happy. And so you can find other ways.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you spend more time kissing than you do having sex. 100%.
Yeah.
What are people saying, Cody, before you pick your next one?
The people are saying that they would rather be. James says he would rather be a terrible kisser. Jay says he would rather be a terrible kisser as well. Blake says he would rather be bad in bed. As a good kisser, you get them into bed and then at least have bad sex.
Right. It's kind of a math. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. At least you nab them first. Too.
I want to know what kind of bad sex we're talking about. Like, are we talking about just the starfishing again? Because
I think a lot of people think that just starfishing is bad sex, and they're kind of deadbeat in bed, or they don't do much, or they do the same thing, or yeah. But at some point, everybody's bad in sex because you get tired of them.
Oh my goodness, Steve!
Wow.
Sorry,
I don't agree with that.
This is the two people that just moved in with their partners.
I know.
That's why I said it. Cody, go ahead and read one more because then we got to get to our thirst trap. Maybe we'll do two more.
This is perfect for thirst
Make
trap.
it juicy.
Okay. Would you rather have sex with your biggest celebrity crush or your favorite porn star? Abby, do you watch porn?
Yeah. I don't really have like
a favorite. Okay. I can pick another one.
I would rather sleep with my celebrity crush. That's like easy to me. I'm like,
well, then she's gonna be a celeb crush. Yeah,
we don't want it to be too
Let's
easy.
follow up, Cody.
Okay.
Who's your celeb crush?
Ooh.
For me, I'm thinking about so many different people at this point. I'm like, they're all women. I like, don't have any male celebrity crushes. It's like Kristen Stewart, Gabby Dunn. I'm like thinking of random people.
All women.
Yeah, all my like celebrity crushes are women.
I love that.
Okay.
Those are some good ones. Kristen Stewart, yeah, hot.
I mean, yeah.
This is an easy one for me because I would definitely pick celebrity crush because to me, it's every single time you watch porn, I'm kind of having sex with them. I'm seeing them doing the deed and I'm in there with them. They're fucking me in that porn scene. So I'm already kind of doing it in my mind. And if you think about it, everything's in your mind. your celeb crushes, we don't get to see them doing all these kinds of things. So currently I'm watching a telenovela because I'm trying to brush up on my Spanish. My mom got me into it.
Okay.
And there are like 5 telenovela, soap opera, Mexican superstars on there that they all take off their shirts, and I want to sleep with every one of them. I'm following them on Instagram. I have these major crushes. I was looking at one earlier and I'm like, man, I would love to sleep with him. And there's like 4 others that I would like to sleep with. So that's definitely my final answer.
Okay, so I disagree with you guys. I would rather have sex with the porn star because, like you said before, you wanted to check my references. I have checked their references. I know I know what they are capable of, and I know what's going on down there. With the celebrity crush, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. So it's a mixed bag. So they could be a bad kisser. They could be a starfish. So
I'm like really curious about what celebrities are bad in bed. Not that I feel like any of them should get called out. Absolutely not. But like, to me, mine, if you're a celebrity, you have to be having good sex, which is like probably not true.
it's
I'm really curious about
definitely
that.
probably not true.
And I've actually had sex, not to brag here, but I mean, I've had sex with a couple porn stars. It was a lot
couple?
easier. It was a lot easier back in the day when they used to be all on Rent Boy. Back in the day, we're talking like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, before OnlyFans, many porn stars had Rent Boy accounts, and you could find them on there, and you could easily rent them out and try them out that way. Now they're all on OnlyFans, and they don't really do that as much, so it's that much harder. You almost have to like vie for a space to do one of their scenes, and they have to agree to it, and it's this whole thing, and you have to subscribe to them. It's that much harder. There's a whole lot of work.
I agree with you. I have had sex with a porn star as well. Porn star in quotation marks, but it's before he actually got started in porn. So yeah, and it was amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh. I would say I've only recently though started like exploring like following porn stars on Instagram and stuff, and like that you can actually start seeing, because I think that's to me why I haven't had like a favorite porn star, is because I like to see someone's personality and that's how I get attracted to them. And I've only recently been like, I could start following these people. Like, why do I feel like I can't just see the rest of their lives? And so I've started to like, who should I follow and who should I like?
I got a list for you, girl.
Well, I love this game. We'll continue playing it. Thanks for playing, Abby. One final game. I hope you'll weigh in on this. We do this every week. It's called Thirst Trap. This porn site does pick. They pick how many people, Cody? This week it is 21 gay porn stars. Okay. I put it in the link there. Who took the best photo or video? And it's our job to descriptively describe who gets our pick of the week. I'll start things off. It was a good week of picks, I have to say. Wouldn't you agree, Cody? Better than last week?
No, I think last week was better, but okay.
Okay. Right. I'm going to go with, because I had Dr. Joshua Gonzalez on this week and he talked about ejaculating and the importance of ejaculation. I have to pick Sir Peter because he is midway down and I'm saluting his sir as we speak with cum dripped out of it, and it's thick and juicy, and his dick is thick and juicy, and he's got like this great facial hair and look on his face that says come get it, and that gets my pick of the week. So Abby, are you scared to play this game or what?
A little bit. This is kind of cracking me up though. I pulled it up and I had this moment of like, oh no, pop-up stuff, no. And then I was like, wait,
you wanted a list, Abby. Here's the start to your list.
We'll make Abby go last. We'll give Abby a minute to weigh in if she even wants to. No pressure, Abby, no pressure. Cody, go ahead.
So Jen just put Spoon with his pick, and Spoon was my pick.
Wait, the guy's name is Spoon.
He's got a fat ass and a bad name. Okay, all right. But he was my pick because his butt is very juicy. But then I looked at the video, Tanner Reed's video. He's about halfway down. He's right under Travis Stevens and Chris Andy. and it's Tanner Reed, I guess, is giving the blowjob, and he's I guess the guy is ejaculating, and he is ejaculating into Tanner Reed's mouth, and it's just really hot. He's swallowing it, and it's amazing. So I'm changing mine right now, right here, right now.
Okay. Love it. Thanks for that. Daddy says Tony Goodfella. Okay. What's Tony doing in the picture?
Here's a video.
Oh, okay. Do you have one, Ab? Oh, I see. Oh, it's all about his ass. Oh, yeah, it's ass. Oh, and then he turns around and he shows his dick and he wiggles it. Oh, that's a good one. Abby, are you playing this game?
Yeah, I will for the fun of it. I'm gonna go with the one right underneath that, Sheen Ford, mostly because like that looks like it took. He was really working to keep in that position. I don't know why. Everyone else just whipped it out.
That's a good position. Yeah, he's sitting on his like kneeling. Dicks out and very sexy abs of steel. Love it.
Yeah, I think he's like flexing all right there, and he's like really holding himself up, and I'm like,
love it. Who else are people saying? Cody. Cody, who are the people saying? Get off of there.
James says Ricky Donovan, who I told you I had a tremendous crush on for the longest time. If I didn't have a boyfriend, I would go to him and his husband and say, "Can I be your third?" And good old Angel says Jace, and I guess that's Angel. Who is Angel?
Okay, well, you figure that out. I want to thank our special guest because we're running out of time. Yeah. Abby, thank you so much of Sweet Baby Gay Podcast. Right. Sweet Baby Gay Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, correct? And how else can people follow you?
Yeah, we're also on Instagram, Sweet Baby Gay Pod. And that's the only social media I really use.
I love it. We'll list that all on TAGSPodcast.com when this comes out. I want to thank you so much. Thanks for doing what you're doing.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
This like cracked me up, all these games.
This will be out tomorrow, of course, where you get your podcast in the audio format, as well as on YouTube. So check us out. Follow us at Tags Podcast. Follow my co-host at Mr. Maurice, at Mr. Maurice on Instagram, or he's a life coach at KMD Coaching. Thanks, guys. So much fun.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.